So if you own and operate your own business, I would say it's generally advisable to work with an accountant to help understand your financial situation and file your taxes. However, there are some issues that can arise when working with an accountant that I wanted to discuss in today's video. So the biggest issue that I see is just the disconnect, where accountants are simply taking the information you give them and then they're inputting that to create a tax return for you. But they're not necessarily prompting you with a bunch of different questions. And as a business owner, especially if you're new to business, there might be a lot of things you're just not aware of. Sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. So if you're not bringing all the adequate information to the accountant and the accountant's not asking all those extra questions, then some of those things can just get lost or overlooked or just not addressed at all. And that can be detrimental to your business and to your financial situation. So for example, are they asking you about GST? Should you be collecting GST? When do you file it? Should you be claiming input tax credits or PST? Are you recording that properly? Are you paying that when you shouldn't be if you are purchasing from a supplier when you are reselling something? What's your personal financial situation like? Are they, asking you about RRSPs and TFSAs and other, tax strategy vehicles like that? Are they making sure that you're claiming all the possible expenses in your business activity? So, maybe you have a cell phone that you use for personal use, but in part you're using that for business use. Are they asking you about that? Are you using a vehicle or other equipment in your business that was initially, a personal item? Are they prompting you with all those questions to make sure that you're claiming everything you can and you're putting yourself in the best situation? And now, in a way, this is a criticism of accountants because I do see this quite regularly. However, more than anything, this is really encouragement to be aware of your own financial situation and really educate yourself, because it's really important as a business owner to have a good understanding of bookkeeping, of accounting, of taxes. And I know that our tax system here in Canada and just accounting in general can be really complicated and overwhelming. But the more you know about it, the more advantages there are and the more things you can take advantage of, and you can be more strategic with your financial planning, both for your personal life and also for your business. So I think it's really important to do this research and understand these things and then have good questions for your accountant, because I find that too, just people don't know what to ask their accountant, and then they're not getting the full benefit of that service because they don't even know how to interact with the accountant. So it's asking them things like, what is the best legal structure for my business based on a tax perspective? And, when would I change that legal structure for my business? And, do I need to start claiming GST? And, what different expenses can I claim in my business that I might be missing? So I think a lot of times you really need to prompt the accountant to make sure you're getting the most out of them, because a lot of them are not going to ask you all those questions. I've seen issues before where businesses will be audited by the government for sales tax issues, and they'll just say, well, why didn't my accountant tell me I wasn't doing it right? Well, again, I think sometimes the accountants just take the information that you give them and they just process it, and they're not really looking big picture all the time. They're not going through this whole checklist to make sure you're doing everything right. They're just assuming that you are doing it right and passing on that information. So there may be some accountants that are doing that, but for the most part, I think you do need to take some responsibility for yourself to research those things to make sure that you're at least aware of them. If you don't fully understand them, again, that's what the accountant is for. But if you're not aware of them and you don't bring them up, then the conversation may never be had. And therefore, again, it might just be overlooked or missed, and that could be very detrimental. So review sales taxes in your region, what your obligations are. Review business expenses that you can claim. Review different tax vehicles. Review your tax situation when it comes to different credits that you can claim. Again, I think it's really important just to have that baseline understanding of taxes to get the most out of your situation. So hopefully this video was useful. If so, please click like. And if you want a little bit of help on just understanding like the different expenses that you can claim with your business and sales taxes and things like that, feel free to reach out. I do offer a free 1-hour initial consultation, and I will leave that link in the video description below. And if you want, check out my YouTube channel here, where I currently have over 250 videos that cover business management and business startup topics.